Hello. Hello. I got this new book recently. The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. So I thought I would knock two birds out with one stone and read a little bit of it for a video. So we'll just get right into it. The object isn't to make art, it's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable. Robert Henry. Nothing in this book is known to be true. It's a reflection on what I've noticed, not facts so much as thoughts. Some ideas may resonate, others may not. A few may awaken an inner knowing you forgot you had. Use what's helpful, let go of the rest. Each of these moments is an invitation to further inquiry, looking deeper, zooming out, or in, opening possibilities for a new way of being. One second. Those who do not engage in the traditional arts might be wary of calling themselves artists. They might perceive creativity as something extraordinary or beyond their capabilities, a calling for the special few who are born in these gifts. Fortunately, this is not the case. Creativity is not a rare ability. It is not difficult to access. Creativity is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's our birthright, and it's for all of us. Creativity doesn't exclusively relate to making art. We all engage in this act on a daily basis. To create is to bring something into existence that wasn't there before. It could be a conversation, the solution to a problem, a note to a friend, the rearrangement of furniture in a room, a new route home to avoid a traffic jam. What you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, sold, or encased in glass for it to be a work of art. Through the ordinary state of being, we're already creators in the most profound way, creating our experience of reality and composing the world we perceive. That first line, what you make doesn't have to be witnessed, recorded, or sold or encased in glass. I've been trying to work on that more, like just making things and not having to post it, or not worrying about people seeing it and just making it just to make it, you know. In each moment, we are immersed in a field of undifferentiated matter from which our senses gather bits of information. The outside universe we perceive doesn't exist as such. Through a series of electrical and chemical reactions, we generate a reality internally. We create forests and oceans, warmth and cold. We read words, hear voices, and form interpretations. Then in an instant, we produce a response. this in a word, all of this in a world of our own creation. Regardless of whether or not we're formally making art, we are all living it as artists. We perceive, filter, and collect data, then curate an experience for ourselves and others based on this information set. Whether we do this consciously or unconsciously, by the mere fact of being alive, we are active participants in the ongoing process of creation. To live as an artist is a way of being in the world, a way of perceiving, a practice of paying attention, refining our sensitivity to tune in the more subtle notes, looking for what draws us in and what pushes us away, noticing what feeling tones arise and where they lead. Attuned choice by attuned choice. Your entire life is a form of self-expression. You exist as a creative being in a creative universe, a singular work of art. Tuning in. Think of the universe as an Think of the universe as an eternal creative unfolding. Trees blossom, cells replicate, rivers forge new tributaries. I'm sorry, I do not know that word. Tributaries. The world pulses with productive energy, and everything that exists on this planet is driven by that energy. Every manifestation of this unfolding is doing its own work on behalf of the universe, each in its own way, true to its own creative impulse. Just as trees grow from flowers and fruits, humanity creates works of art. The Golden Gate Bridge, the White Album. Oops. The White Album, Guernica, Hagia Sophia, the Sphinx, the Space Shuttle, the Autobahn, Claire de Lune, the Colosseum in Rome, the Phillips screwdriver, the iPad, Philadelphia cheesesteak. Look around you. There are so many remarkable accomplishments to appreciate. Each of these is humanity being true to itself, as a hummingbird is true to itself by building a nest, a peach tree by bearing fruit, and a nimbus cloud by producing rain. Each nest, every peach, every raindrop, and every great work is different. Some trees may appear to make more beautiful fruits than others, and some humans may appear to compose greater works than others. The taste and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. How does a cloud know when to rain? How does a tree know when spring begins? How does a bird know when it's time to build a new nest? The universe functions like a clock. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep, a time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, These rhythms are not set by us. We are all participating in a larger creative act we are not conducting. We are being conducted. The artist is on a cosmic timetable, just like all of nature. If you have an idea you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. In this great unfolding, ideas and thoughts, themes and songs, and other works of art exist in the ether and ripen on schedule, ready to find expression in the physical world. As artists, it is our job to draw down this information, transmute it, share it. We are all translators for messages the universe is broadcasting. The best artists tend to be the ones with the most sensitive antennae to draw in the energy resonating at a particular moment. Many great artists first develop sensitive antennae not to create art, but to protect themselves. They have to protect themselves because everything hurts more. They feel everything more deeply. Often, art arrives in movements. Bauhaus architecture, abstract expressionism, French New Wave cinema, beat poetry, punk rock, to name a few from recent history. These moments appear like a wave. Some artists are able to read the culture and position themselves to ride that swell. Others might see the wave and choose to swim against the current. We are all antennae for creative thought. Some transmissions come on strong, others are more faint. If your antenna isn't sensitively tuned, you're likely to lose the data in the noise, particularly since the signals coming through are often more subtle than the content we collect through sensory awareness. They are energetic, more than tactile, intuitively perceived, more than consciously recorded. Let me reread that again. We are all antennae for creative thought. Some transmissions come on strong, others are more faint. If your antenna isn't sensitively tuned, you're likely to lose the data in the noise, particularly the signals coming through are often more subtle than the content we collect through sensory awareness. They are energetic, more than tactile, intuitively perceived, more than consciously recorded. Most of the time, we are gathering data from the world through the five senses, with the information that's being transmitted on higher frequencies. We are channeling energetic material that can't be physically grasped. It defies logic in the same way that an electron can be in two places at once. This elusive energy is of great worth, though so few people are open enough to hold it. How do we pick up on a signal that can either be heard nor defined? That can neither be heard nor defined? The answer is not to look for it, nor do we attempt to predict or analyze our way into it. Instead, we create an open space that allows it, a space so free of the normal overpacked condition of our minds that it functions as a vacuum, drawing down the ideas that the universe is making available. This freedom is not as difficult to achieve as one might think. We all start with it. As children, we experience much less interference between receiving ideas and internalizing them. We accept new information with delight instead of making comparisons to what we already believe. We live in the moment rather than worrying about future consequences. We are spontaneous more than analytical. We are curious, not jaded. Even the most even the most ordinary experiences in life are met with a sense of awe. Deep sadness and intense excitement can come within moments of each other. There's no facade and no attachment to a story. Artists who are able to continually create great works throughout their lives often manage to persevere these childlike qualities. Let me reread that. Artists who are able to continually create great works throughout their lives often manage to preserve these childlike qualities. Practicing a way of being that allows you to see the world through uncorrupted, innocent eyes can free you to act in concert with the universe's timetable. There's a time for certain ideas to arrive, and they find a way to express themselves through us. And I think I'll stop there. So we made it to page 13. The creative act. I forgot the title. What is it? Oh. A way of being. I might continue to read this book in videos, but probably not the whole thing. I'm probably going to read majority of it on my own time. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your night or day. I'm ready to go to sleep. So,